Good morning, students. Now we are going to start our third lecture of chapter number 9, that is electromagnetic induction. Okay, and yesterday we have completed the Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, and also about the Lenz's law, the conservation of energy, and the induced current and the induced charge. And regarding that these topics, I have just solve one numerical and give you the homework also, the numerical based questions. Okay, now in today's lecture I'm going to start with one example, with one questions that sometimes was coming in your exam also. It was just a theoretical questions, a theoretical example is this. Okay, so the question is, explain direction of induced current under following situations. Okay, a different situations has been given to you, and in that situations you have to explain the direction of the induced current. Okay, so one by one we are just go through the situation. So your first situation is, this is the bar magnet, south pole and north pole. Here one plate has been kept, AB, and here the another magnet, again the south pole and north pole. It was moving in this way, it was moving in this way. Okay, so in this following situation you have to explain the direction of the induced current. Okay, so in this we have to apply the Lenz's law. Okay, so according to Lenz's law, direction of induced current in loop is from B to A. Okay, from B to A. Clear? Hence, plate A will be positive and plate B is negative. Now, which law we have to be applied, beta? Lenz's law. And what is there in the Lenz's law? Yesterday we have discussed about the Lenz's law, that the polarity of the induced EMF and the direction of the induced current in the circuit is such that it opposes the change in magnetic flux that produced in it. Okay, as the north pole is coming on this way, okay, and south pole is coming on this way. So north and south, they are just be attracting, moving from, north to south. Okay, so, and here inside it, south to north. Okay, so as it was be moving from here to here, the direction of the current is moving from, as you know it very well, the north is coming, then it was in an anti-clockwise direction, and when the south is coming, then it was in a clockwise direction. Okay, so the direction of the current which is induced in loop is from B to A. So you know it very well, B to A, the direction of the induced current. It means your A is your positive and B is negative. Okay? Clear? Now, next one. One coil is there and here a cell is connected and a key is connected. This is the coil P. One another coil is there and here a galvanometer is connected. G. This is the coil S. Okay. Now in this, when we are looking from the side of coil P, the direction of the induced current is from the side of the coil P, the direction of the induced current in coil S is in clockwise direction. In which direction, beta? Is in clockwise. Current is moving from positive to negative. Okay, so it was moving in a clockwise direction. Okay, so in S also it was in a clockwise direction. So second one solution is looking from the side P of coil, direction of induced current in coil S is clockwise. Okay? Clear? Now the third situation, and your third situation is that the circles are there like this. A, this one is B. These all three are in equal size. Okay, A, B and C. These three are of equal size. Clear? Okay. Now in third one, if you just B, look at the B side. There is no induced current in coil B due to the current in coil C, because C coil is fixed. Okay, looking from the side of the coil A, the direction of the induced current in B is anti-clockwise. Okay, means B is having the two sides, one from the C and another one from the A. If you are just be looking from the C side, there is no induced current in the coil B because coil C is completely fixed. Okay, and when we are looking from the A side of the coil, then the direction of the induced current in B is the anti-clockwise, because in A also it was moving in anti-clockwise. Clear? Okay, so solution of it is there is no induced current in coil B due to current in coil C, because coil C is fixed. Looking from the side of coil A, the direction of induced current in B is anti-clockwise. Is anti-clockwise. Okay. This is the fourth situation. Moving toward the next situation. Situation number. This one is the third situation. Moving toward the fourth situation. Here is one coil and the current is moving in this. Okay. So direction of induced current in the loop when current decreases uniformly. Current decreases uniformly. Okay, so in this, the rate of change of magnetic flux associated with the circular loop is constant. Okay, so hence current will not be induced in the loop. What is given in the question? That the direction of the induced current in the loop. What is the direction of the induced current in the loop when the current decreases uniformly? But when we are just taking the rate of change of its magnetic flux which is associated with this circular loop is a constant one. Okay, so from here it is concluded that the current will not be induced in the loop. Okay, so its solution I am writing: the rate of change of magnetic flux associated with circular loop is constant. Hence, current will not be induced in the loop. Okay, clear? Now moving toward the last situation, situation number 5th, that is a coil is there A, B and C. X coil is there. Okay, and here one magnet is there, bar magnet S, and direction is in this way, and another coil I am taking here. This coil is of your Y and the name is I am given P, Q and R. Okay, now in this, as we know that the south pole is moved towards the coil X, then the induced current is in the sense of ACB. Okay, south pole is coming, south is for which direction beta? Here. Okay, so it was in opposite way, in the clockwise direction it is in opposite way, so it was moving in ACB. Okay, and as the north pole is moved away from the coil Y, then the induced current in QRP. Okay, QRP, just in the same way. Getting my point? So the solution of this one is, as South Pole moves towards coil X, the induced current is in the sense ACB, and as North Pole moves away from the coil Y, the induced current in it is the sense QRP. Okay. Now this is about this example, this question. Okay. Now we are moving toward the next topic, and the next topic is induced EMF in a conductor rod moving in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, it was moving in a uniform magnetic field. So I am just taking the uniform magnetic field. Okay, and I'm just taking a conducting rod. Okay, it was in a, this one is the its motion direction. Here the negative charges are induced, here the positive charges are induced, and the magnetic field is here. It was completely in a magnetic field. I am just making in a way that you are easily understand. One more thing, its length is L. So I'm just be kept in a slightly tilt in a particular direction, so that here the positive charges and here the negative charge, and the length of the rod is L. Now I'm just taking here a midpoint of it. Here it's the velocity V, and perpendicular here the magnetic field B, and here the current. Okay, now the uniform magnetic field, I am just be showing it by the dot form. Okay, in a dot form, you know it very well in the dot form. Okay, now its direction is normal to the plane of a paper, and it was outward. That's why the dot has been shown to you. Okay, now the conducting rod AB of a length L is placed perpendicular to the field. The rod is moved with the constant velocity V, which is also perpendicular to direction of both the length and the magnetic field B. Okay, now there are some free electrons present in this conducting rod also, which is also move with the velocity v in the magnetic field. Now the magnetic force on the moving free electron is, we have discussed in the previous chapter about this. Fm is equals to q into v cross d. Okay, so the theory you have to be write by your own. I am just directly writing ahead, that is the free electrons present in conducting rod also move with velocity v in magnetic field. The magnetic force on moving free electron is Fm is equals to q into v cross b. Equation number 1. Now you know it very well that the q is the charge of an electron. So now we are just moving towards our diagram. So for the positive charge, direction of v cross b is from b to a. So the magnetic force on the electrons because of the negative charge is from a to b along the length of the conductor. Now due to the drift of the electron, there is excess electrons at A and B and deficiency of electron at A. Getting my point? There is a drift of electron, that's why there are excess electron at B. B is a negative one. Okay, and there is a deficiency of electron at A, that's why it is positive. So hence there is excess of negative charge at the end B and excess of positive charge at the end A. Now there is the accumulation of the opposite charge at both the ends of the rod. A static electric field gets developed between the edges because there is excess and there is accumulation of the opposite charges over there. Due to the opposite charge, a static electric field gets developed between the edges. Now the drift process due to the motion of the conductor continues till the force on the electron, and due to the electric field is balanced by the force of magnetic field. Force on the electron of a charge q due to the electric field is, this was from the first chapter, that F is equals to QE. Okay, clear? So the drift process due to the motion of conductor continues till the force on the electron due to the electric field is balanced by the force of the magnetic field. Okay, clear? So the extra thing I am not writing at the excess of electrons on the SB and the deficiency of electron at A, that's why it was positive and it was negative. This thing I am not writing because it was completely shown in the diagram. I am just be writing ahead that due to accumulation of opposite charge at both ends of the rod, a static electric field gets developed between edges. So the drift process due to motion of conductor continuous till the force on electron due to electric field is balanced by the force of magnetic field. So, force on electron of charge Q due to electric field E is from your first chapter, F is equals to Q E. Equation number 2. Now there is a static equilibrium has been developed. So in the state of equilibrium, what? QE in plus QV cross B is equals to 0. This is the state of equilibrium, beta. Now from here E is equals to, I am just be getting this in this equation in this side, so it will be in the form of the minus. Q and Q has been cancelled out, so E is equals to minus of V cross B. Equation number 3, that is the direction of electric field E is opposite to direction of V cross B, or inside the conductor it is from end A to end B. Magnitude of electric field E is equals to VB. Okay. Now, due to this electric field, an EMF will also be induced between the two ends of the conductor, isn't it? So, due to this electric field E, and EMF E is induced between two ends of conductor. So hence, you know the formula of a potential. Potential is equals to what? Work upon charge, like this. So hence EMF is equals to work done in displacing a unit positive charge against electric field from one end to another end. Okay, so it was for the unit positive charge. So work upon charge, and the formula for the work is force into displacement. So remember, here I am just taking the unit charge, beta. The value of charge will be 1. So E is equals to, formula for the work is force into displacement. So force on unit positive charge into displacement. So like this, E is equals to FL. Now what is the value of F? F is equals to Q into V cross B. Okay, and Q will be your unit positive charge, so it will be your what? Only VB. So E is equals to VBL. Okay, so it will be equation number 4. So if the direction of the L is taken from negatively charged and to a positively charged, and the conducting rod is moving at an angle theta with the direction of magnetic field lines, then the component of V, means the velocity, is perpendicular to the direction of B, that is V sine theta. And in such a case, the induced EMF between the ends of the conductor is given by BVL sine theta, because we are taking the perpendicular component of V. Okay, and the induced EMF is 0. So when the conductor moves along the direction of the magnetic field. Clear? Okay, so this is about the induced EMF in a conductor rod moving in a uniform magnetic field. Clear? Now the next one, I am just solving one example. Okay, one example I am solving out, and another you will take it for your home. Okay, so example is like this. Question is, two lines of a railway track are separated from each other and also from earth. They are connected by a voltmeter. When a train moves on this track with speed 180 km/h, then what is the reading in millivoltmeter distance between the railway lines is 1 meter and vertical component of Earth's magnetic field is 0.2 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. Now, this is your question. Now, what you have to do? There are two lines of a railway track, okay, and in this, which are separated from each other and also from the earth, and they are connected by a voltmeter, millivoltmeter. And when the train moves on this track with the speed of 180 km per hour, okay, train is moving in this track with this speed, then what will be the reading in a millivoltmeter? If the distance between the railway line is of 1 meter and the vertical component of earth magnetic field is 0.2 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. So for this, the solution is, do you know it very well that the induced potential difference between railway lines E, right now we have studied E equals to BVL. Now what the value has been given? Velocity, and that is of your 180 km per hour. So we have to be convert into meter per second. So what we have to do? 180 kilometer per hour, kilometer, 1000 upon hour, 3600. Okay, so it will be a 5 upon 18. Okay, even simply you can remember, when you have to be convert kilometer per hour in meter per second, you have to be multiply the value with 5 upon 18. Okay, that's why I'm just solving here for just tell you the thing. So 5 upon 18. So the solution will be 50 meter per second. Okay, and the value of magnetic field is also be given. That is 0.2 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla, and the length separation between them, that is of 1 meter. So all the values we are having, put it in the equation. That is E is equals to what? BLV. So value of B is 0.2 into 10 to the power minus 4 into 50 into 1. So it will be your E is equals to 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 volt, or we can say 1 millivolt. So the reading is 1 millivolt. Okay, this is the answer of your question. Clear? So one example I have solved. Okay, now another one question I'm just be given you for your homework. You have to be solved by your own. So your today's homework is a conducting rod of length 40 centimeter is placed perpendicular to a magnetic field of 0.5 Tesla. The rod is moving with velocity 15 meter per second at an angle of 30 degree with magnetic field. Find the induced EMF across the end, across the road. Okay, so this is your question. In the question it is given that the conducting rod of a length has been given of 40 centimeter. It is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field. The value of magnetic field has also been given. Okay, and the rod is moving with the velocity of 15 meter per second and making the angle 30 degree with the magnetic field. Okay, you have to calculate the value of induced EMF across the road. So right now we have discussed for the perpendicular length, it will be BLV sin theta. So value of B has been given, length you have to convert it into meter. Okay, and V is there, angle is 30 degrees, sin 30. Okay, so simply you can use the formula and solve it out. Clear? This is your homework. Okay. Now the next topic we are start from in tomorrow's class, tomorrow's lecture. Okay, clear? Thank you. That's all for today.